Right, it is currently 6:05 p.m. Ontario Police, again, gang stalking, sounding helicopter. I just want to be clear, the air cooler is on, the television is on, and I'm standing at the stove, and ILA, Impossible Light Activity, covers. It's impossible that you're going to hear the helicopter. The entity is using it. It's as demonic as a fake sun sitting here all day. Ontario Police are a bunch of demons. And they engage in psychological torture by repeating the same conduct that they know that you're documenting. And the people of the state are not coincidentally in the path, okay? The entity is, I want to make sure I document the vehicle that's parked at the corner underneath the bright light that you see, which, by the way, is not the cause of a shadow appearing right here. These are demons. And that's Ontario Police. To hear it inside of the apartment is demonic. It's as demonic as this light activity, and it's as demonic as a fake sun and a fake moon that's over the same apartment. And they are not coincidentally in the path. They're stalking in the path while they walk this way. Okay. AVANATH Capital Management is going to be civilly and criminally liable for what they're doing with the city of Ontario. That's creating light activity using the spotlight. Hearing that inside of the apartment is called amplification. That causing any sort of vibration of the apartment is called sensational activity. And that's a demon flying a helicopter, by the way. The entire police department, every single male and female working with the Ontario Police Department is demon possessed. And so are the demon possessed that live here. And this is impunity while the people and the state continuously engage in federal group stalking and monitoring. And they're doing so at this moment. I just finished editing more documentation, and I'm going to publish the videos because they're all going to prison for it. This is domestic terrorism. This is what an entity is doing all day, by the way, while a fake sun remains stationary over the senior citizens that live at a facilitating venue, not a private property. They're all going to prison. Every single last one. And the federal government is going to get the name of this demon because when the state is prosecuted, the Ontario Police are being disbanded. Mike Lawrence is done with law enforcement. So is the demon flying this, and so is the Ontario Police Department altogether. But I want to be clear, they are at the billboard for how domestic terrorism is going to be treated. These are gang members, not a police department. And you have what are the men and women wasting millions of dollars in Ontario on criminal surveillance. And it's exposing what is the demonic system of federal group stalking and monitoring, and it's severe mental illness. A mentally ill psychopath will engage in repeating what is obvious criminal conduct because they're desperate, and they will engage in that conduct under the fake sun, and all the world knows exactly what they're looking at, and no one appears innocent in the specific environment in helicopter. The entity does so exhibiting impunity and malice and the need for mental examinations, which, again, the demons gang stalking and helicopter are going to get. While this demon flies in circles, they're going to a mental asylum. Again, that's based on the evidence, the behavior that the entity exhibits while it's being documented. Gang stalking by police is met with immediate federal prison. That is axiomatic. While you engage in the outwardly demonstrating demon possession, mental illness, stalking an American citizen repeatedly in a helicopter, you're going to an asylum. And that's exactly what that demon flying that helicopter, the entity is going to produce the evidence about who's at the heliport. They're all going to be locked up in federal facilities, and that particular demon is going to an asylum. Okay, that's based on the mental illness. It's not different from the people of the state inside of apartment 55. The more that I document this demon, the more that she engages in pacing. That's what's going on using an entire helicopter. Now, as a practical matter, the city itself, the municipality, speaks of things such as not having enough money, not having enough resources to put out things like, fires in the city. This is what they're wasting their money on. I've already documented the city and the county of Los Angeles. This is what they're spending millions of dollars on. This is what they're using the men and women in the fire departments and the police departments to do. It's criminal surveillance. It's not training for putting out fires for legitimate emergencies that may or may not have been set by the very same domestic terrorists, by the way. It is currently 6:09 p.m. That demon's going to a mental asylum. They're all going to prison. This is P.O.C. It's psychological torture. They're just repeating the same thing as I document what's going on because it's evidence that's going to be used in federal court. And the entity, AVANATH Capital Management, is being civilly and criminally prosecuted because its property is a facilitating venue where they are profiting. And AVANATH is a gang stalker by virtue of their employees gang stalking, by the residents whereby they are profiting while federal group stalking and monitoring, which is a criminal conspiracy to murder and kidnap an American citizen. The very department is using the sky space over the real property, which is not a private residence. It is a facilitating venue. And by the way, where the fake sun is remaining over your property, you can prepare for a civil and criminal prosecution. The fact that I can hear it over the cooler, over the television, in the depths of the apartment, that's recognizing targeting. The fact that you are already aware of the fact that sunlight pierces through the peephole during the day, the fact that the fake sun remains for the duration of the day, that sunlight appears on the ceiling, my shadow appears upright. All of this is already documented with regard to what's going on at Woodside Senior Apartments and the impunity exhibited by a demon-possessed demon-possessed psychopath by virtue of their provision to me for the world to witness and a federal court to prosecute off of, that demon is going to a mental asylum. That's exactly how you're going to prosecute domestic terrorism, where the demon-possessed are engaging in psychological torture, which is domestic terrorism, while the government, in concert with the people of the state, are perpetually stalking someone. This is exactly what I documented, by the way, while I'm nude in the shower in the unity. That are the people of the state who are all going to prison. They were all gang stalking my genitalia, amplifying the sound of audible activity inside of the shower, and the same elements are present in the same environment, speaking to the intentional engagement in that criminal act together. Not intentionally walking in the path and engineer light. Not coincidentally walking in the path and engineer light while the demons are stalking in helicopter at the venue where the fake sun and the fake moon remains over me. Not coincidentally where the entity is sounding helicopter activity that is necessarily a means of targeting of a demonic nature, when I should not be able to hear it when they're at that great distance. And they're flying in circles while they are also clearly seen as targeting. They are not free, meaning the gang stalkers that are the Ontario police, they're not free to do anything. They don't even have authority under the law, and now they're being prosecuted for it. And they're getting the American people who are gang stalking, they're going to federal prison. That's also why the Ontario police are going to be disbanded. They engage in and they facilitate and encourage and approve criminal activity. All right, that is also sexually perverted. They're obsessed with my genitalia. Okay, they're doing so again. This is the removal evidence that is sufficient to remove any mayor, let alone Paul Leon, whose time in office has long expired. This is a demon that's been sitting in office for 20 years, and you have federal group stalking and monitoring happening on his watch. He knows all about the mentally ill that are flying in circles over a senior citizen complex. This is P.O.C. It's currently 6:12 p.m.